Hello and welcome, this is Mousegunner, and we're back with some more BattleTech, and my continued look at the backer beta build, and the single player skirmish mode that is currently the only mode available. For this video, I'm going to step things up by moving up into the war budget of 25 million, which is currently the highest budget level of the three that are available. And because this is our first look at this budget level, I'll be using a default loadout, and the loadout I have selected is the heavy fire loadout, now that we have the heavy categories available. My opponent will be using the heavy battle loadout. Now, the main reason I chose these two loadouts is because I wanted to face the big boy and the Atlas for my opponent, which is currently the most expensive mech available. And for me, I have the second most expensive mech currently available, the Battlemaster. So going through this, I am using all the defaults, even the pilots, except for Witness. I changed out the default of Mockingbird. I just think that Witness is the better of the two because he emphasizes gunnery skill over piloting skill, which I think is more important in a light mech. But let's just go over the mechs themselves. So starting with our lightest mech, we have the Commando, which is a different variant than we've played in the past. So I think in the last video, I used this variant of the Commando, which you're going to trade out the SRM-6, downgrade that to an SRM-2, remove the SRM-4 entirely, and replace it with a large laser, and then we have the same medium laser that the previous mech had in its left arm. So what these downgrades are going to mean is that we're not going to have quite the firepower, and we even have less heat efficiency because we are relying more on energy weapons, and energy weapons are less heat efficient, but that large laser is going to increase our range, as you can see here. Down to the Jagermech. Again, we used a Jagermech in a previous video, but yet again, a different variant of this Jagermech. We use the one with the LRM-15s. This is going to be the one that replaces those LRM-15s with AC-5. So the main armament we're going to have is two AC-2s, one in each arm, and two AC-5s, one in each arm. To back that up, we also have a medium laser in each torso side location. Finally, we have the Battlemaster, as both of our Jagermechs are the same variant. And the Battlemaster, as I said, is the second most expensive mech currently in the game. Now, the Battlemaster is somewhat similar to the loadout with the Kintaro, where the emphasis is on maneuverability to a certain extent. It's not quite as maneuverable as the Kintaro is, but it's more maneuverable, all things considered, with other assault mechs, well, in particular, the Atlas, as we can see the difference in speed there. And it's also pretty durable. Now, you might note that the durability of the Atlas is much higher, but the Atlas has a lot more tonnage on us. It's 100 tons versus 85, so we're going to expect more durability because you can fit more armor on, and more firepower because you can slot more weapons in. So it is going to be a challenge, the Battlemaster versus the Atlas. So for our weapons loadout, we have a PPC, which is our main long-range firepower, really our only long-range firepower. We have 3 medium lasers in the right torso and 3 medium lasers in the left torso for a total of 6. We also have an SRM-6 in the left torso and 2 machine guns. Now, the machine guns are not all that effective against mechs, but if they do eventually incorporate infantry into the game, this would be very effective against infantry, as would a flamer, but that's not currently in the game, although I think there's plans to put it in the game. Now, the machine guns do count as a small weapon, though, so if when we're in melee combat, we can still use the machine guns as well as the punch or whatever the melee attack is going to be. Alright, so let's just briefly discuss what our opponent has. So, 2 light mechs and a heavy and a assault. So it's a little bit of an interesting loadout. They're going to have the advantage in initiative, as their 2 light mechs will go before a lot of my other mechs, mostly just our 1 light mech versus their 2. One thing, though, I should mention real quick about the pilots that I have. Again, I chose the defaults, but I just want to go over their abilities real quick. With Arc Light, you have that Master Tactician ability, which is going to increase her initiative. So even though she has a heavy mech, it will act as if it's a medium mech as far as the initiative order goes. My other pilot, the Kraken that's in the Jagermech, has the multi-strike ability, which will allow us to attack more than one target at once. This is not something I've showcased in a YouTube video, and it took me a little while to figure out exactly how it worked, but I think I have it down now. And then finally, we have Ozone with Bulwark, so as long as we stay stationary, we will get the Bulwark ability. I could see trading him out for Paradise and get that evasive if you're going to be more maneuverable, but I think with this, we're just going to kind of stand and brawl. In any case, getting back over here, so we have the 2 light mechs, we have the heavy mechs. So you go for the heavier mechs and the lighter mechs to kind of balance it out. So it is very interesting loadout, and I think it's going to be a good opponent for us. So the Commando is the other variant, though, not the one that we're using. So the ones with the SRMs, not the large laser. The Panther is going to have a PPC and an SRM as its main firepower, so it's going to have some long-range ability. The Orion is a pretty solid mech. I'm not exactly sure which variant this is, but we've faced Orion in the past, and we saw that that was a pretty tough opponent. And then finally, we have the Atlas itself, which is the most expensive and heaviest mech in the game. So, going to be a challenge. Let's go ahead and jump in. I'm going to be using the stacks as my my map for this particular video. So I think it's been a while since I played on it, and I just like to do something a little bit different. So let's go ahead and jump right in here. All right, we've loaded in. Now, I have received a number of comments since I started this series, and they've been really helpful to me. The latest one that I got, I'm going to talk about in this video because I think it's important because it deals with sensor lock. In my previous videos, I had a misunderstanding of how it worked, and even after I was told about this, I went to playtest it, and at first when I tried it, I couldn't get it to work, and then I misread the tooltip, which just made me even more confused. But then I tried it again, and I was able to figure out how it worked. So just reading this real quickly, the thing that I misunderstood is I thought I had to have line of sight to get sensor lock to work, but really what it's saying here is that you gain line of sight when you use it. So as long as they're in sensor range, you should be able to do it. And I don't know why in that one playtest I did, I couldn't get it to work. I'm going to go ahead and move my Commando over here behind this ridge, so it's out of line of sight for now. And we'll try and demonstrate exactly how that works as we get sensor contacts. But for whatever reason, that first time I play tested it, I couldn't get it to work. But now I think I got it. So I'm going to try and demonstrate that to you guys because I think it's important to point out things like that. And this is still very much a learning process for me, so you're going to have to forgive mistakes like that. As this is a pretty high learning curve, complex game. I think I've got a lot of the tactics down. It's just a lot of these unique elements of the game, like these abilities that I'm still working on. I think that's pretty much the last piece of the puzzle, though. Now, what am I going to do with my Battle Master? I have a couple different things I could do. I might even move him up here with the plan of maybe moving over here next turn. I mean, I guess I could move there now, but let's just move here. See if we can bring this guy up. So my game plan here is to sit in the woods with the Jaeger mechs and use their long-range fire. I'm hoping that the opponent goes down the road here, which they very well may do. And if they do that, we'll establish a line of sight. We'll use our Commando. Well, even if we don't get line of sight, if we just get sensor contact, which we didn't get, we can use our Commando to get that line of sight with the sensor lock. And then once we've established that, we can use that long-range fire. So I think I'm going to put the Battle Master here behind this rock so that we can pounce on somebody. Oh, we already got an enemy contact here. All right, I'm not going to be able to use my sensor lock abilities, I don't think, this turn. Or can I? Well, if they're not in sensor range, though, I don't think I can use it. Okay, so we're just going to have to wait on that. I am going to move up, though, because I am going to need to get that sensor contact. And we can always run over this way and break a line of sight if we need to. So I think for now, I'm going to move. I'm afraid if I move there, they'll just go around here and maybe see me. So let's move here, and I'm hoping I have enough range to get over here if we need to. So we should be now in sensor range, and we'll demonstrate exactly how the sensor lock works. Okay, so Arclight and Kraken, I don't necessarily need to move, but I'm going to move just for the sake of getting the evasive. So we're sprinting here. Because this turn we're not going to get an opportunity to fire anyway. And this guy I'm just going to move this one space. The evasive is the important thing here. We're not going to get a lot of movement bonus, but we are going to get the evasive. It doesn't even matter how far we move for that. So there you go, evasive. Okay, so now we have the normal turn order.
Heads up. I got a sensor trace.
So here comes one of their light mechs. Coming straight down. We do have line of sight there, so that's not necessarily the best person to demonstrate this on. But just to show, you can even select someone that you don't have, like just an orange contact. So there we go. For whatever reason, when I was playtesting this, I couldn't get that selected. Maybe I didn't have sensor lock selected properly or something. So that's why I was a little bit confused about that, and I thought I needed line of sight. But in any case, now that we see, if I use sensor lock, I'll make this guy exposed. But I'm not going to use it just yet because he could just move and reestablish his evasive, and that's really what I want to get rid of. So for now, I'm just going to go into reserve. So we may reveal this guy normally. But if we do, that's okay. I'm even half tempted here to continue to reserve. I think a likely circumstance, though, if we do that, is they'll use the commando's line of sight to punish me. I don't know if the Panther has line of sight, but the commando for sure does at this stage. Who he has line of sight of, I don't know. Possibly the Battlemaster, although it's hard to say here with this. I'm not sure who has vision of the commando. It could be one of these guys back here. And if that's the case, then he's only establishing line of sight over here. Possibly. There's a lot of unknowns here. And because there's unknowns, I'm not exactly sure how to approach this.
What can I do for you?
But what I could do is I can move in behind here. I'm still keeping him within sensor range. We could use that sensor lock whether or not we can still see him. So we'll move there. And I'm going to try an approach where we only really expose our light mechs when we have an advantage where we can easily... Yeah, so we're going to go ahead and remove this guy's evasive. Or we can easily stay out of harm, come in, get an attack, and run out. Okay, so Arc Light is going to have a chance now to respond to this commando. So we're going to go ahead and fire upon him. If I'm lucky, we'll knock him down.
What do you need?
And if I knock him down, I may cut off his line of sight. It's possible, though, the Panther's painting line of sight anyway, so this may not work. But our autocannons are all in range, 85% chance to hit. That's pretty damn good. So let's go ahead and fire here. Okay, we managed to kill his left arm. We did not, unfortunately, knock him down. So there we have the line of sight, but we still have the evasive. So he's going to be dodging, and he's in cover. Oh, he did take a head hit there. That's unfortunate. But he is in cover, so we're going to be reducing damage on top of that. So now it's going to be Kraken's turn to go. And again, I'm going to go for an attack on this commando, because if we kill the commando, we may break the line of sight that they have established to us, unless, of course, the Panther is giving it to him. Then it doesn't really matter. But we'll go for it anyway. This guy's sensor locked, so... Now, somebody said that it even makes him easier to hit. Now, it doesn't say that here in the text, but I'll take their word for it. So let's go ahead and fire.
Confirmed. Firing.
Okay, we just made them unsteady, unfortunately. Nothing worse than that. So I expect their Atlas to then attack us here, as it does have LRMs as well, and LRM 20 as a matter of fact. Now we just lost our unsteady. That's unfortunate.
Confirmed.
Now I do have line of sight here, and let me read the bulwark trait. You gain guarded when remaining stationary, 50% damage reduction against attacks from the front and side. We wouldn't remove, though, the unsteady, I think. And the only way we would get that is if we don't move. So that does mean we're going to have kind of a broken line of sight here, but it's still not a bad line of sight. Now, I'm not going to be able to fire absolutely everything here, because if I do, I mean, look at the heat we're going to be able to, or we are going to build up. Might still be worth doing because man will annihilate the crap out of this guy. I think we'll hold back some of the medium lasers, though, just to keep ourselves a little bit cooler. We don't need to go all out just yet. Although I would very much like to kill this commando. Another thing that I'm going to try and keep a better eye on is my morale bar. This is something so far in the YouTube series I have not really been utilizing. And to be honest with you, some of it is just a user interface improvement that may need doing, because I'm aware it's a thing, but oftentimes I just don't really notice when I have it, because the bar has to fill up before you can use it, and then you can inspire a particular pilot and give them a stats boost. I just have been not noticing it in my previous playthroughs. So, you know what? I'm tempted to just fire everything here so that we ensure a kill, but this guy is so likely to go down. Let's just fire with a few medium lasers turned off, and hopefully that's enough.
Copy that.
Okay, we had him with the PPC, I think. The PPC killed him, so there was some unneeded firepower there. And confirmation, we did keep that unsteady, so we still have the guarded trait regardless, and I don't think that goes away when you're unsteady. So we'll be able to reduce the damage here pretty significantly. And we need our Battlemaster to tank these shots. That's pretty much his job. So it'd be nice to remove that unsteady, but it's going to be tricky to do so. At this stage, I think we're just going to go ahead and reserve witness. And then we're going to try and defeat their line of sight, if I can. So that Panther is standing more or less out in the open.
Yep.
And we do have line of sight to them. They don't have any cover. They may have some movement bonuses, so we'll have to take a look at that. So yeah, just a slight movement bonus. We can hit them with the medium lasers if we want. If we don't fire the medium lasers, we're going to be remaining cool. Let's go ahead and fire these medium lasers anyway. It's only a 50% chance to hit and then 65% for the other stuff. So this is not a great chance to hit, but let's throw a lot of fire on him and hope we at least maybe knock him down. A lot of whiffing here. Okay, we did get some damage there. Unfortunate, a lot of misses. I'm going to go ahead and reserve again. There's no reason to put my light mech in danger. So I suspect we're going to have some more shooting at the Battlemaster, which, you know, is not ideal, but we're going to... those head hits, though, might do us in, because if they knock him down, he's going to take another pilot injury. So that's 3 pilot injuries, and I think it's 5 and you're dead. So we may even have to take a move to make him more steady. So, all right, we're going to fire here again. This guy's got a little bit better chance to hit. I'm going to open up with everything yet again.
Confirmed. Firing.
Okay, a little bit more hits. Matter of fact, we managed to get a head hit.
Scored a critical hit.
Okay, so at this stage, we have the choice to reserve or not to reserve. I think we still reserve. At this point, we may get knocked down if we take another LRM-20 hit. Which, you know, again, would suck. Hopefully we don't take another head hit. And there's the knockdown. So that's going to be our 3rd pilot injury.
I took a hit in the meat.
Okay. So now we can move the commando if we want. I think at this stage, we just stand up our Battlemaster. There's actually not a point in moving, because we should have a direct line of sight of the Panther here. And we're now perfectly steady because we stood up. Our chance to hit is terrible, though, if we don't move. So the question here is, do we move or not move? Because if we move, we're going to put ourselves in line of sight of the heavier and assault mech. So I think we just go for some damage here. I'm going to turn off 1 medium laser, possibly even 2 medium lasers, possibly even 3 medium lasers. I mean, it's really going to be the PPC that does the most heat for us. So I want to cool off a little bit, but still throw some damage out. So let's do that. You know what? Let's go for the kill here. Well, I mean, it's 55% chance. It's not really a great chance. And I don't want to heat myself too much and, you know, not have a good chance next turn. So we're going to go ahead and fire here.
Engaging target.
Okay, so we managed to blow off his arm. I'm going to have to see what that did. He is also unsteady. So, lost his PPC, which is going to be most of his firepower. Okay.
You, Commander.
So what I might have the opportunity to do here, although it's going to be hard to pull off, is come in, hit him, and then leave. The problem is I can't get in cover and do that too. So we're going to be exposed this turn, and it's possible he'll go before I will, because that's sometimes how it goes. If that is the case, I'm going to be kind of bummed out, but we'll be able to run away at the end conclusion of this fire that we do here. And we're going to open up with everything we have because there's no reason not to. And we have a fair chance to hit here, and we may kill him, so...
Weapon. Go.
Alright, we at least took out his right torso. So he does have the SRM still. And he is going to go, so we'll have to see what he does. Okay, so he's just going to go guard because of the damage he took. At this stage, the commando's a little bit in trouble if we reserve him because these guys could use their LRMs against him. I think we reserve, though, nonetheless, because they're not going to be able to go just yet. And we may have a chance here to punish this guy and take him out. So 75% chance to hit, and then we've got the 55% with the medium lasers. Let's go for it. He does have the guard up, though, so it's going to reduce the damage pretty significantly, but there's not a whole lot I can do about that unless I can get behind him, so... Alright, we did manage to do good damage there. Some of that hitting him in the center torso. So it may be worth taking my light mech and moving, well, at least into cover, so that if we do get shot at, we're not going to go down. And we try and go for the kill here, because I may actually be able to get it with this firepower. He has no armor in his center torso, so if we're lucky and we hit him there, he'll go down. Now, this is a risk because they could unload on my commando, and if they do that, he'll take heavy damage and possibly even die, because these are LRM 20s we're talking about here. This is serious firepower. But I'm going to go ahead for it. Take a little bit of risk. Everything in warfare is a little bit of risk. And we've got good chance to hit here, so let's open up on him. Okay, that might have done it. Boom, he's dead. So they don't have line of sight anymore. That was worth the risk. So he's going to have to move to establish line of sight, which he gets, but he ran to do it. Now, the downside is he's established that line of sight. So what that means for us is the Atlas will be able to act upon what line of sight he just got. He doesn't have the line of sight, but his friend does. So let's go for the attack here. See no reason why to open up on this guy. I mean, yeah, he's got evasive, but there's not anything I can do to remove it because our light mech is already gone. And we did manage to hit him once, but it was in the leg, which is not necessarily ideal unless you manage to take out the legs. Okay, the Atlas gets into cover, and he's going to go after our Battlemaster. Another head hit. Wow. Our luck with these head hits. Alright, well, in this circumstance, I think we move into cover here. Well, or we could just stay where we are and reduce the damage. I would like to get closer, though, so I think this still counts as cover. It's really hard. Oh, I guess the little icons around let me know. All right, so we'll get in close here. We'll open up. I don't think we're going to open up on the Orion, though. I think I'd rather go against the Atlas in this circumstance because of the higher probability to hit him, and also he doesn't have evasive, so he's not going to be dodging it. All right, we have a fair amount of heat to play with here. Medium lasers might be the way we go because a PPC would shut us down. And I'd rather fire those off than one PPC that could miss. So let's just fire everything we got here outside of the the PPC and the machine guns, which can't hit anyway.
I'm on him.
He does have damage reduction because of the cover, but it could be worse if he then guards
Watch my heat.
next turn. Okay, so we're in a situation where we're going to want to move
What can I do for you?
our light mech so that it cannot be attacked. It's possible that they'll go after him if I move here, but if they do that, you know, it is what it is.
I read you.
And then we'll use the sensor lock to remove this guy's evasive, because we will be able to take advantage of it this turn. Because we will be able to hit him with arc light. So let's open up with arc light.
What do you need?
More than likely, we'll only be able to hit him with the AC2s and AC5s. Let's fire.
I'm on it.
Okay, got him in the head and killed his head. Wow, that was a snipe and a half. We do have the ability to inspire here, so we might want to use that. You know, I talked about that previously and the fact that I'm going to need to remember that. Okay, so it's going to be down to Kraken here,
Receiving you.
who should be able to... No, can't quite see. Are we going to want to move to establish line of sight? I can move here and establish a line of sight, but the range is going to be greater, and it's possible I won't have a great chance. Oh, this is not bad either. I could move up, but I can't get into good cover. Oh, this counts as cover, it looks like. Okay, that's a good established line of sight. Now, it's possible the Atlas will come up on us, and then we eat an AC-20, which I really don't want to eat. So, yeah, let's move back. Not putting us in a good band, though. I really hate that. Maybe if we move over this way? Yeah, there we go. That's a little bit better.
Confirmed.
But I don't think he'll be able to easily come up here and just smack us with an AC-20. Okay, we've got pretty good chance to hit here. Let's open up.
Attacking from position.
Okay, we made him unsteady. He may just work to fight that by guarding. All right, so ideally what we want to do is get into a position to flank him. I don't think we're going to be able to pull that off, though. And the other problem that we have is our heat. I still think we need to get up in this guy's face, though, and challenge him. So we could punch him, but I wouldn't be in cover if I did that. Yeah, let's move here. I want to try and get his back. I think I may be able to pull it off, although the train may prevent me. Okay, so we're definitely not going to fire this many weapons because of the circumstances with the shutdown, which we definitely don't want to have happen. It looks like we can get away with this much firepower, though. So we're turning off a few of our medium lasers. We're going to be firing 3 medium lasers and SRM-6, but we now have the advantage of using our machine guns, which aren't really going to heat us up at all. So we'll go ahead and unload here. I don't think it's worth using our Inspire just yet because he's going to have the guard up. So if we can get his back, I'd say use it.
Here we go.
Or another thing that I might be able to do is just, you know, if I can get rid of his guard, we might be able to take advantage as well.
Commander.
All right. From what I can see, I cannot establish line of sight, so I think we just reserve. Because I may be able to poke at him after he's gone. We'll just kind of take advantage of things like that. Okay, so arc light here. I see no reason to hold back. We'll go ahead and fire. And it will just be the ACs for now. Okay, good damage. We'll reserve again. And then we're going to have Kraken have a go at this. Okay, good damage again. We're going to reserve one more time. The Atlas is going to get a chance to go. He may be able to take my Battle Masters back, which would be bad, but we'll figure it out. So he just went for the guard again, probably because he was unsteady.
Orders.
All right, I will be able to take his back, so this is a perfect time to go with the Inspire here on our Battle Master.
Time.
So either of these spots is going to be his back. I'll go straight into the middle of his back, though.
Move order received.
We could also punch him in the back in the future here. So now we're just moving to get our position. Okay, so we can get away with the same kind of firepower here. I don't know if I want to shut down. I could fire everything and take the shutdown and just hope I kill him, but this is an Atlas we're talking about. It's not likely we'll kill him here, but we still get to open up with the same kind of firepower we used before, except this time it's going to be in his back.
Engaging target.
And he's not going to have the guard benefit either, so we did manage to eat through quite a bit of his armor.
Try my heat, Commander.
All right, so now our light mech can more or less fire at him with impunity. We're not going to be able to get in behind him, but we may be able to get in behind him next turn. So I'm going to go ahead, move in here, get nice and close. There's no minimum range for a large laser, so let's go ahead and open up. 90% chance it hits, pretty good.
Commencing Alpha Strike.
And this guy will get almost no counterattack here. I mean, it's possible he'll get a counterattack if I don't plan this out right. So what we could do is we could use our light mech and get in behind him. As a matter of fact, this would get in behind him right here. We could get a little bit of distance on him, but I don't know. I'm fine with going here. We get a little bit of cover, so it does reduce the damage slightly. Although he could just turn around and punch me, and that would be bad. We're going to have two other mechs going here after this, so if we manage to knock him down or something, it could be pretty useful. I don't know. I'm assuming that gets rid of the guard if you do that. Anyway, we're ignoring his guard now. Unloading with everything. Okay. So we now have eaten through all of his back armor, and our Battlemaster may be able to take him out, and I think I would be willing to risk a shutdown in that case. So we've got continued 90% chances to hit. Now he's going to have the guard, so he's going to reduce this by 50, but and he's also going to be a little bit harder to make unsteady. But we should have him at least unsteady at the end of this fire. But this shows you how much armor a Atlas has, that we're just absolutely pounding this guy. Okay, we did manage to take out one of his heat sinks. Now this is going to be where he's going to be able to counterattack us. Now he may, yeah, I was going to say, if I was him, I would punch the commando. Oh, no, he just turns so that he doesn't give us his back anymore. Well, we're going to easily be able to take his back again, so... yeah, I'd say the AI is maybe not handling the situation the best. Because we're just going to move in here. I can't inspire again, but I can pretty much guarantee a kill at this stage. And if we don't get a kill, I mean, hell, we're going to get a back attack with pretty much everyone here, as long as our Battlemaster's not blocking line of sight. All right, let's just go ahead, turn on every weapon we have here. I'll go ahead and take the shutdown. I could fire off the PPC, but I'm just not going to for the sake of argument. And we'll fire everything into his back, and I'm hoping this kills him.
I'm on him. Reporting.
Wow, amazing.
Shut down. Gotta cool her off.
All right, so we did manage to take him, I mean, almost everything out on this guy, but he's still ticking.
Waiting on you, Commander.
All right, so we're going to move in here and just unload on his back again. I mean, he still has the guarded trait. And I'm going to risk overheating here, too, because we need to get this kill.
Everything I've got.
And boom, there we go. All right, well, we got to demonstrate some things nicely. We got to demonstrate what was pointed out to me in the comments, how the sensor lock can be used without a line of sight. And I apologize with my confusion on that end, but it is a new concept to me, so it's something I am learning. And we also managed to make it through with all of our mechs, which is nice to see. And I think from here on out, that's something I'm going to try and strive for. But at this point, I think I've got the light mech play pretty down. Now that I understand how that sensor lock works, I think we're really good for the future. And I'm also getting a little bit better with my play time as well, as I've started to get this down in minutes for our matches. So in any case, I hope you guys have enjoyed the video. This is Mouse Gunner signing out.